Hello, welcome to Lockdown Workshop again. We seem to have rather a lot of bikes in here. Need fixing, need cleaning up, possibly selling. New acquisition, that's for my triathlon coaching. Bike I killed last year that's used on the turbo trainer. The bike that possibly got killed yesterday when somebody hit me with a car, that's got to go and have its frame ultrasound, which is annoying because that's a new frame. Bike that's arrived tonight, got a problem with gears. Working bike. Out of all of them, that's the working bike. What else have we got tonight? We've got, it is tonight as well. I haven't done one of these for a while. I've had my haircut. Go on. No more Brittany. We have got a tubeless tyre that won't seat. I've had a little play with it. It does appear to have a problem. I'll explain later. Hopefully we'll get that done. And I finally ordered an air shot thing as well, because I've been using compressor and even a garden sprayer to pump up tubeless tyres. And they do work, but I keep finding these on the floor. They do work, but they're not as good. So I think what we need to do is shift some of these bikes out of here so I've got a bit of room so I don't break anything. So bring you back in a bit. No idea what's up with this tonight. Right, let's try again, shall we? Started recording last time, it just turned itself off. Right, third attempt. We have a Cube Axia Pro, or Axial Pro. Axial Pro. Aluminium frame, size 50, which is quite a small frame. So that's interesting. It is right on the limit. So I'd say, I know the rider, so it's probably about the right size, but it is just on the edge of the right size. Could have gone to a medium. Technically it's a small. Though the bike outside has a 52 centimetre frame and claims to be an extra small. So there you go. Look at that nice shiny black chain. Ugh. Well oiled anyway, not horrible and black. What's wrong with this one? The gear's wrong with this one, but we'll just give it a quick M check anyway. Just check everything else is okay. Bike's fairly new, so it should be okay. So let's check the wheel bearings. Don't think the tubeless tyres. They're what is very popular at the moment. These slightly wider adventure tyres, 27s or 28s or whatever. 28s these. I think Cube have their own proprietary wheels. Pretty sure that that's not. Yeah, it's not carbon, I don't think. Feels like aluminium. Can't imagine it being carbon wheels on an aluminium frame. They just look a bit funny. I think it's the transfers on them. Anyway, they're definitely not tubeless. They're okay. Soarer. So as with most of the higher end bikes, they tend to go down in the group sets. Whereas Planet X in the same price range will be up one or two group sets. But it takes your picks. Disc brakes, ball bearing mechanical disc brakes, though these are the TRP ones. They are quite good, these. They're not bad. They're certainly not as bad as them ones I was using the other day. Yeah, they feel nice and positive. Them ones I was using on the Planet X the other day that were cabled I was not happy with them. They did not feel good. So it's got a problem. I haven't checked headstock. Actually feels all right. Maybe Cubes are okay for that. Right, so it's got a problem with the gears. So let's see what the problem is. I tell you what, I won't be able to recreate it. Oh, just noticed. Are you back? You sure? Straight through axles, front and rear. That's rather nice. Right, problem. Let's do it in this one. So we are reporting a gear that doesn't. Let's take it all the way down. I can hear it already. You see it jumping. Every now and again it's jumping. So they're not fully down, or it's catching the next one up. Yeah, that's just jump 2. That's just jump 2. That's just jump 3. Oh god, this is all over. There might be some more to this than meets the eye. Right, that's down and that's tight for starters. So let's take it all the way to the top before we go any further. Yeah, it's too tight, it's not coming down. So if you knock it off, you can see it's just riding on the cog. So it's got too much adjustment in it. Bring you a bit closer. Wind you down. I don't remember how far this camera will be. So we'll do the usual, we'll take it down into the middle. Well, actually, let's have a quick just check the other gears are fine. Yeah, it's got the double knock. That's fine. Yeah, I can see it's out. Right, assuming that is in the right cog and you are looking in the right place, can you see? Oh, yes, just right. So this is too far across. That should be even, or if anything, slightly lower. So the way they normally tell you to set it up is the centre of this is level with the outside of that, and the same when you get up to the top as well. It should be, in theory. So I'll put you back in. I'm just going to slacken that off a bit. That was quite a long way off. So let's take her all the way down. Right, that feels slack now. It's not loose, but it's movable. I can move it, and it's not moving the thing. So we'll thing. Right, that's gone up okay. So let's see where that is. Right, so we need to go up slightly. Let's try that. Sounds better. Down again. Up again. I think that's okay. That was a fairly easy fix, wasn't it? I know they look a bit clunky, but these are Soras, so they're not. You've got a 5 group set difference between a Sora and a Ultegra, and I know most of my videos are Ultegra, so they're a lot slicker movement. But what you've got to remember is these Soras are the Ultegra from 2 series ago. They trickle everything down, usually 2 sets. There you go. I'm still riding a little bit, but let's get the final test. Take it down. So this is with lower tension on the chain because we're on the smaller ring on the front. And it's feathering slightly, so if you're paying attention, Jenny, this is what the half index is for. Then go all the way down and all the way up, and I'm just going to take it back up again. And it'll start grating slightly, can hear it. Knock it off. It's actually worse. It's because it's not under tension, the chain's wobbling around. So that's fine. I'm happy with that. Let's just stuff it back down again. Yeah, that's spot on that. Boom. Done. That was an easy fix. Why can't they all be like that? I will give the chain a wipe down. It does have a little bit too much oil on there. It's a really shitty rag. Yeah. We've just created a new one. Yeah, didn't want to do that. Just had my thumb against it. Something very industrial about the Sora group set. That's filthy. So when you oil your chain, wipe off the residue. You don't need this much oil on. That looks a bit better already. Oops. I feel I'm making that worse. I'm just smearing it around. It's like eyes up. Right, that one can go back. Just do a quick vid for the owner. I've lost my normal little standy thing. Right, that didn't go to plan, did it? Right, so we'll get onto the wheel then now. I'll bring you back in a bit. Right, this one, on the other hand, is going to be a fiddly little fecker. So, the owner's been having issues with this one. I don't know why the tyre's off the rim, but it was off the rim. The rim's been cleaned. The tyre looks fairly clean. I did actually think it was a new tyre, but it's not. It had gone down. I don't think the tyre's got a puncture. I think it's leaking through the rim somewhere. Or what I found is that the tyre has become deformed. So if you look, you can see there's a massive wiggle. I don't know if you can see that. Let me just gyroscope it around here. You can see there's a big dip as it goes round, and the bead isn't sitting right. So it's just about that bit there. This bit here. Now you can see there's a line, and that line's supposed to be even all the way around, and it disappears. Now when I pump it up, it's pissing air out of there. And it's holding. Once it drops down, it seems to be okay. But once it gets to about 80 psi, it starts shoving air through the seam there. Now it could be because that's where the join's in the wheel, and there does look to be a ridge there. So I'm hoping that's not cracked. That is just the weld point, because every wheel has a round point. They roll them and then they weld them together. But that does look a bit prominent on both sides. It could just be clutching at straws. It could be just that it's because it's slightly off on the inside, it's leaking through there. But that is definitely down, and this definitely is not seating in the bead. So first thing I've got to do is find out why it's not seating in the bead before I even attempt to try and seal it. Unless putting the sealer in gives it enough lubrication to pop it out anyway, because the sealer will start bleeding through there. That'll get wet and greasy, and then it might push it out. But the problem is I can't get it up to pressure at the moment. I can get it up to about 80 psi, 60 on the compressor, because I'm limited to 60 psi on the regulator, and I don't want to take the compressor to pieces and bypass the regulator just to blow this up. I have ordered a one-shot because I haven't got one, and it's about time I had one. I did try it with gas earlier because I was struggling to get the rim to the tyre to even bead seat on the rim, but I have got air in it. There's probably about 40 psi in that at the moment, but that is not in the right place, and I've spent a good 10 minutes trying to pull it into because sometimes you can rock them in and they'll pop into place, but this one is just not having it. So I am wondering whether it's been flat and it's been left with that tyre in a flat position, it's just deformed the bead slightly. So what we'll do is we'll get it off and have a look at it and redo it, and then spend the next 3 hours trying to get the seat back in again. I did notice that was over tight. So what you've got to remember with this is, if you tighten that up so tight that you can't get this off when you're out on the road, and you've got to put an inner tube in because you've got a hole in your tyre and you can't get that off, you're stuck. You're snookered. So just make sure that that's slack enough so you can undo it with your fingers. There is a rubber grommet under there, and if it is leaking, the sealant will come and seal it anyway, so there's nothing to worry about there. So let's see if I can find out why this won't seal here. This is where it just pops back in now, just goes straight in. Yeah, there's definitely something going off there. It's almost like it's sticking to something, or it's stuck in the channel. And it's still going back down. Every time even if I pull it out, it's going back down again. It's got it disappearing in. So I've just pulled that out, and it's just gone back in again. I'm going to do what I don't do now. I'm going to get a tyre lever on this. Let's assume I can find one. These are the shit ones, the Freebie Planet X ones that fall to pieces. Like I said, they were free. I think they were handing them out at a race, and you could take as many as you wanted. So I think they knew they were shit. Jesus, that's tight. It's going to end up snapping this. It's not having it. Get them off. Interesting to see if I can actually get it. If I force the bead up, whether I can get it to. That'll be another one just out bit in the dust. And that's what they do. Straight in. Let's try another one. The whole set in the bin. It's still not coming up. It definitely does not want to sit. So it could be something as silly as the tire's too far out everywhere else, and it's pulling it out. I've just popped that off the bead as well, so that's not going to work now. Or it could be the bead's snagged all the way around here, and that's not in the right place. So it needs loosening up to push the tire up to give it more room up there to get up. You don't normally have this problem with a used tyre. You have this problem with new tyres. You don't have them with. Right, that's popped off the rim now, so that'll probably come out. Yeah, that's coming off now. Not coming off. Right, time to get the good tire levers out. They're here. In fact, let me bring you back when I've got the tyre off. So you have got to be careful with this because there's rim tape in here, and I really don't want to have to replace the rim tape. Let's see. Once you've got it unseated. Now the beads on these. What I've got to be careful with is that I don't move the tyre because I want to see what the problem is around there. Right. There is metal fragments on the tyre there, which are worrying. So I think the best. There's glue all in it. So it looks like that's been a place where it's not sealed before, and the glue is in the bead lock on the tyre. So I think the best thing I can do is get the tyre off, have a really good look on the rim. on you off yet. Last bit. Look all the way round. If you ever do have a more substantial bead, there's definitely something there as well. You can see there's lots of old liquid. I think that shiny bit might not have been metal, it might have been part of the sealing compound. They have like fibres in the liquid that, yeah, you can see it's all over the rim there. So that's possibly what's been stopping it from sealing. So I think what I'm going to have to do is I might have to see if I can get some solvent and go round with that and just check the rim as well. Yeah, there's actually a big. Well, that one's out. There's a big lump of wood or fibre or something in that one. So you've got to be really clean with these. You get one hair or that looked like a little bit of copper fibre. It's got to be forensically clean. Yeah, there's a lot of muck in the bead. It's interesting because I'm only just getting into these tubeless thing. I've avoided it up to now, but I'm getting so many bikes coming in with tubeless. I think the last 3 bikes have all been tubeless. Yeah. I come from an era where we had worse than that. We had tubs. So you think tubeless are bad, you want to try moving into tubs. So I'm thinking I might have to start embracing the new world a bit. I think that's probably what our problem's been there. It's not jumped into the bead because there was muck on it, especially around that bit there. That is the bit where it wasn't sealing, and there is a lot of sealer in that channel. So what I'm going to do is I'll take a while, I'll clean it all out. Another lump of something on there. I'll try and find something that will clean it out. We'll get that. It does feel sticky. Yeah, there's a lot of shit in there as well. Look at that. Yeah. It's horrible stuff. And it only takes one ball of this to end up on the outside in the channel, and it's never going to seal. Right. Chuck that over there out of the way. Just have a quick check of the rim. I'll have a look at the rim. Come on, let's have a look at the rim. No, the trouble is, the light's not going to be brilliant for this. That's where the join is. Right, so there is something on the inside there. So, but the sealer should take that up. You can feel it's got a ridge on it. And this is what I was saying about you've got to be careful with the tape when you got your spoons in, because you can't damage this tape. Now, a lot of these rims, this bit surprises me, because a lot of these rims, oh, that's interesting, that's actually bubbled up. So you can see the tapes actually come up there where the sealer's got underneath it. That's not seated very well either. That's interesting. I don't like the look of that. We'll see how we go with it anyway. See if we can get it seated, and we might have to replace the actual tape on this. But the channel itself doesn't look that bad. It looks fairly clean. I can't see anything in it that's going to cause the problem, to be honest. I can't feel anything that would push that out. Like I said, though, it was really hard to get it to seat. Just curious about that there, whether that's actually sealant that's got underneath, because it's seeped through, or there's a hole in the tape. There's a big chunk missing out the rim there. But again, it should seal that kind of stuff. Right. Okay, bring you back in a bit. Right, so I'm just working around the rim now, putting it back on. There's another lump of metal there. So what we'll do now is opposite to the thing. So normally with a bike tire, that would go on first, but not with these. So right, so you leave a pocket there now, and then I'll drop the sealant into the pocket. So I'll just go and get the sealant. Good fella. Now I could just measure this out. It says they want 30 to 40 mil. So I'm just using the markers on the side. You can actually see the rubber filaments in the pink shit. Right. So what you need to do now, this is where it does get mucky, is quickly spin it over and then get this in. Without spilling it everywhere, getting it all over your fingers, because it's horrible stuff. I might give in and use the tile levers in a minute, which I wouldn't normally do, but I don't want to get covered in shit. Yeah, so all it needed was just that last bit. Right, so that's the bit that wouldn't seat right before, so we'll have to see if we can get that out of its comfort zone and up in the air. Right, so we'll just get a good smearing of it all the way around. You still see the tyres all over the flipping place. There's that bit that's sticking up all over. Now I'm going the other way. It's decided it doesn't want to seat in at all now. We did have this problem when I was putting it on. The tyre wouldn't drop. It says it's done it again. The tyre wouldn't drop to the other side of the valve stem. Right, so put that around the bottom. Now it's touch and go whether this will actually work. So we'll give it the. So this is the cheats way of doing it, just to see if you can get the bead to sit. Alright, now hopefully I've blown the bead out now. That's what you'd use your one shot for if you've got a one shot. Boom. Now we'll give it a go with this. It may or may not work. Looks like I've packed all the bits away. So it's just a normal Schrader adapter. So I can use the actually going on properly. Have I undone it? No, no, I'm doing it. Right, shove that on. Do it up. You're about still with us. I'll give you my airy armpit. I'm just trying to manipulate the feed into the Of course, the compressor's not brilliant. Right, so just give it a... It's still not perfectly level. I'm hoping the bead's going to pop out, but I think it might be a new tyre job, to be honest. Now, what was happening before was I was getting it up to about 80 psi and then it'd blow the rim out. Yeah, right. While the camera went off, I think it overheated or the battery went flat. I give it another blast with the foot pump. We've got it down to one small area, and it is around that joint again there. So what I'm trying to do now is to just get some of the sealant in there. It's getting less. So we're up to about 100 psi now. What I need is a squirty gun. I will go and find a squirty gun. Longest day of the year yesterday, and it's almost pitch black outside. It looks like we're out of a thunderstorm. Let me just stick this up here out of the way. I don't think we're going to need this anymore. So, there we go. Let's just see where we are on all this. Oh, oh dear. That might be the rim itself that's leaking. So that hole I said that was in the rim, the weld is actually broken. Now it might be that we can clog that up, but that's not going to fill in the same way that the rubber would pack it. So I don't think it's leaking anywhere else. It was leaking there. Let's look on the other side. That's just that one side there. Now maybe we can clog it and we drop lucky, but I think that's leaking through a crack in the wheel. It's not the end of the day for the wheel, because you could just run it with tubes. Because it's just the tip of the weld that it's gone through there. It's hard to tell whether it is blowing out through the... No, it's not. It's not. I can actually see it jetting. Right, it's definitely not coming through the weld. It's coming through the gap on the other side of it. So it's whether or not I need to smooth that, take it off and smooth it down, or whether the muck will seal it. What we'll do though is just give this a quick... See, the other bonus of doing the bubble test on it, I'm just checking the other side. So, set of bubbles there. Yeah. All right. We've got a little leak there as well. So it cleans all the muck off this, so it's actually quite good. I'll give that a wipe down. I'll give it a pump up again. So I got one to seat not long back that was doing this, and there's a knack to it. Oh, you can still see there's plenty of liquid coming out of it. It's still passing a low load of liquid. You can see as I'm cleaning it out, there's loads of liquid in the stuff coming out. I might have to put a bit more in. Turn that up so I don't knock it. The other thing that's noticeable as well, it's only when you get up to the high pressures it actually starts leaking out, or you can hear it anyway. But what I'll do is that well, what I've read, it's good to make sure you get all this stuff off, because if you leave any of it in the channel now and don't get it out now, it's just going to go tacky. And then as soon as you ride it out on the road with some grit, you end up with grit mixed in with it as well, and it's just not a... It'll not cause you problems while you're riding, it'll cause you problems when you next try to get your next set of tyres to seat. Which might be part of the problem we're having with this now, is that there's muck actually and grit collecting in the tyre. Check the valve, see if that was leaking. Looks okay. Can't see any bubbles or any foamy going off. I don't know which side it was on there. Yeah, it's definitely that side because that's got the bigger plunk missing out of it. Right, stick some more air in it. We'll go again. So we've got it up to 110. I think maximum is 125 psi on this for this rim. And back down to 60 again. So when it's 80, it starts leaking. We've gone past 80. got it to 100 last time, so you can get it to 100 and that's nearly at maximum for the tyre. It's still leaking, I can hear it. So at times like this, you just have to give up. Now, it's fine on that side. This definitely this side. It is better. You can see it's so we'll give it a go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stand it like that for a little bit, let all the tyre slop run down, and then once it's all in the bottom, which I'll probably help that a bit, then what you do, so you know it's there, because that's where I've been swinging it to. So we just put it like that and we just leave it in a bucket. Can you see me? You can't see me. Let's take you for a walk about. Ooh. So what we're going to do is we're just going to leave it here overnight now. What will happen is that the slop that's in the tyre will run round and get blown through there. Still a little bit coming out of that one. And then what we do is you turn it over, you do the other side, and it just makes sure that any small seepages get blown out, but we'll see where we go with that. We're still recording. Oh, the screen's gone off. So it might be we call it a day at that one. So if it is, hit like and subscribe. I know I always ask. It's been a while since I've done one of these. It's probably been about a month and a half. I've been off doing triathlon coaching and summer swim season's kicked in, and it's just been really, really busy, and I've not had much time to do any of this. So what you've been watching over the last few weeks was stuff that I did over sort of spring and early summer. We're now into the middle of summer. We're all sort of towards the end of June, last week in June. Dogs are going nuts on queue because the kids are driving them mad. So a lot of the stuff's just been steadily uploading as I've been processing it all and putting it on there. Some of it's been on time release. So hopefully we'll get back into it. I might have a motorbike project for you soon. I've got my eye on something because I think I might let Piggy go. So if you want a 50cc completely rebuilt, almost like brand new two-stroke scooter, I've got one for sale, and I'm going to buy something else. So we're just keeping an eye out for the right one at the moment. It's still coming out. So what will happen is with this, I'll leave this overnight now. I'll let that do its business. I might slightly tilt it down a bit so it goes down into that side more, maybe. And then we'll see how we go with that. All right, don't forget, like and subscribe. Jobs are good.